video is called What I Stopped Doing When I Reached Age 30. I'm not quite 30 yet, but it's coming up. It's coming up very soon. And I just thought to myself, there are certain things that I stopped doing as I got older. And I wanted to share with you what they are for me. Of course, they're different for everybody, and our needs and our lives are different. So it doesn't mean that you will have the same list, but I'm sure each of us has a bit of a list of things we stopped doing when we reached the age of 30. Thing number one, which I stopped doing when I reached the age of 30, is care about other people's opinions. Unless it's somebody whose opinion I value and I want to know. Maybe I want constructive criticism or some kind of feedback. I genuinely do not care at all what somebody on the street thinks of me, of my child, of my dog. I don't have a dog. Generally, other people's opinions really don't matter to me so much. And I also am very sort of liberal about other people, and they can do whatever they want with themselves. Frankly, I just don't care. I do what's best for my family and for myself, and the rest can burn with high flames. Of course, I'm not talking about being an asshole and being rude and inconsiderate, and that's not appropriate. But generally, trying to tailor your life or change your life just because of somebody's opinion I stopped doing probably in my early 20s, but by 30, I definitely am not doing it anymore. Let's move on to style things. I stopped wearing heels. I wear heels still occasionally to perhaps an event, a very formal event, some kind of wedding, a ball, or, some such thing, and I choose comfortable heels. And not very high ones when I do. But in my everyday life and in general, I just don't want to wear heels. In my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, I swear to you, I wore heels every day, along with one other item of my wardrobe, which I'm going to mention next. But heels were my staple. I was that girl in heels. I wanted to look sexy. I wanted to look... I'm not really sure what my goal was, but I definitely wanted my sex appeal to be up. In my early 20s, that was very important to me, and priorities had shifted since then. So, yes, nowadays it's really Oxford shoes, brogues, sliders, office-appropriate shoes generally, loafers, but all of them are quite flat, quite comfortable. The leather is quite soft, and they're all quite high quality. I don't own any cheap shoes anymore either. So cheap heels was what I was wearing in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, and expensive flats is what I'm wearing now. I'm really saving my legs. My work assumes that sometimes I will be on my feet all day pretty much, or up a lot, depending on the clinic that I'm doing, or the hospital I'm in. So, it's hard on my feet, and again, frankly, I just don't care so much what others will think of me when they see me. I much more prefer to care about A, looking and appearing professional, and B, being comfortable. So those are the two criteria which I choose my shoes by. I do enjoy stylish, cool designs, but number one is really, does it look coherent with my style? And even above that, am I going to actually wear them, pick them, and be comfortable wearing them? And the second item of clothing that I have to mention, which I wore together with the high heels in my teens and early 20s, was mini skirts. Now, I have nothing against mini skirts, but I just don't wear them anymore. I don't find them appropriate or comfortable for any occasion in my life. Even for more formal or party occasions, I always prefer to wear a midi, maybe with a belt to accentuate my waist and maybe show off some décolletage, because having that out is much more comfortable than having the legs out, because there you have to constantly check and make sure that your skirt is not raiding up, that you can only sit a certain way, you can only sit on a certain stool or chair, and getting out of cars is a nightmare. You're just, you're acting like a like a person with disability trying to get out of a car in a mini skirt and not flash the whole world, whatever undies you're wearing, if you're wearing any. So it's just something that I don't find myself reaching for, not because I think I'm too old to wear it. I don't think so. And I think if you have legs to rock a mini in their 50s, 60s, 70s, go for it and do it. That's not the case. It's not an age thing. It's rather a comfort thing. I just find them annoying to deal with. So no more mini skirts for me. If I want to highlight some feature of my body, I prefer to go for the décolletage. Polyester and acrylic clothing. Now I still do wear some blends, so a blend of silk and polyester, for instance, or acrylic and wool. I will still buy that because the synthetic fibers do provide better longevity for items, but they just don't feel as nice against the skin as do natural fibers. Cotton in the summer, silk in the summer, and all year round. I love silk. I wear a lot of silk, probably my material of choice. Linen, a bit more maintenance with linen, but you know, cashmere for winter. It's silk for summer and cashmere for winter for me. That's what my preference is nowadays, and that's all I buy basically. I no longer buy synthetic fibers solely, and I will very, very occasionally buy a blend. I really prefer 100% natural materials, and I will pay extra for them. I would rather have fewer nice things than greater volume of things that I don't find as comfortable, nice, soft, cozy, etc., etc., etc. Next is a kind of a bit of an offshoot from that point, which is Forever 21, H&M, etc., similar brands to that. So things that are very, very cheap are usually very, very cheaply made. At least in my experience, I hadn't really found items in Forever 21 that would be excellent quality. It's either barely tolerable or just completely bad. And in my early 20s and teens, again, I wore a lot of those cheap brands because I appreciated much more being able to follow trends and to update my wardrobe. And frankly, I didn't have the cash to spend it on anything else. You know, part-time job as a teenager or a very young adult while in school, they do not pay a whole lot. So, you know, during university years, I continued to wear pretty cheap things, but no more. I think by the time you get to your 30s, you start really being cognizant of quality over quantity. And I really encourage you to think about it and think about the items of your wardrobe, which you really love wearing. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a better quality item. It's better quality material, it's better quality in terms of its finish. There's nothing more annoying than buying a thing and washing it once and all of a sudden it's either too thin, your bra's showing through it when you aren't intending it to, or there's like all of a sudden a thread hanging out from it after first wash, or even before it came off the rack. You can find some loose threads, uneven stitching. It really bothers me. Those little things are what makes up my feeling about the clothing that I buy. So I still occasionally buy certain items from Zara and Banana Republic, so still kind of lower end of mass market, not very expensive things, but sometimes I do find items of pretty decent quality and materials are still not all synthetic or cheaply made. Yes, in Zara it's more difficult to find items that are good quality, but it's possible. I have found some and I still have them in my wardrobe. But it's just so much easier to go to Theory or Vince and buy, instead of several items for the season, buy 1 or 2. Those items, if you buy classic items, they will serve you very, very well. And that goes together with, in general, sort of getting away from wearing trends so much and only participating in trends which are either super flattering for my particular body type or trends that are kind of a play on a classic and very flattering and very nice to wear and will not stick out as trends once the trend is over. costume jewelry is the next on the list. Costume jewelry I stopped wearing. I think I have 1 or 2 pieces of costume jewelry in general in my jewelry collection. The rest of it is gold, silver, or platinum. That's it. Because really, there are 2 reasons for that. First of all, I have extremely sensitive skin, and any kind of irritant metal will send me into flare of hives all over wherever it is that metal touches. So I have to be cognizant. But even things that are hypoallergenic, I am yet to see a higher quality in those items than in items made out of silver or gold, for instance. Even if I was to find a nice contemporary line of very great materials that don't irritate me and that wear well and won't have weird peeling or changes with time, because you know, gold and silver you can clean very easily and they're done, like they're clean. It's possible to return them to completely pre-wear state. But usually items that are designer pieces even, but they're statement jewelry, they're not made out of pure metals, pure materials, they or precious metals, I should say, they tend to not wear as well. They tend to tarnish even within a couple of years. If it's good quality, it'll take a couple of years, but it'll still tarnish and you can never return it to the original condition. So that's why I just prefer to buy precious materials. Well, because I can keep them as long as I want to and they won't go bad on me. Because I have never owned any costume jewelry that did not eventually tarnish or change with decent, considerable wear. Next on our list is a couple of makeup things that I stopped doing. Contouring for every day. I understand contouring, and in fact I can do contouring, but I never actually wear contour very frequently or at all. I think I did last for a ball, very, very formal occasion with lots of photography. So I do think it looks great on pictures. However, I think decently heavy contouring will never look good in real life. Why? Because I see people wear it in real life. It looks bad. It looks great in pictures, but in real life, it just looks weird. In real life, seriously, in daylight, in sunlight, I looked weird and just really, really, really made up. I think if you're going for a photo shoot, this is the perfect time to whip out those contouring skills. But if you're wearing it for every day, unless you're doing such light contouring that you can't even see it, especially if you bake, then forget about it. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is brow maintenance. And this, of course, is different for everybody. Of course, if you have a unibrow, if you have like a huge mustache or a beard situation that you need to deal with, then you need to go talk to the professional. Hair plucking, I don't do anymore. I don't have a hair problem. I don't have a unibrow. I don't have a mustache. I don't have anything warranting intervention. My brows are not perfect, and I do have like a few stray hairs here. They're not super sharp. They're not really so groomed. But recently, in the last year or so, especially as I started approaching 30, I really thought to myself, what the heck am I doing? Like, these sorts of procedures are really made for people to deal with a specific kind of problem. Why am I making myself a problem when I don't have one? Why am I going to a brow stylist, a skin masseuse, a body masseuse? Like, why am I doing all these things that are not medically indicated or necessary? Why am I spending my time, valuable time and money, doing things that aren't necessary for me just because that's what women do or that's what you're supposed to do and you want to take care of yourself? That's ridiculous. And I think in my mind, I had this sort of a weird structure of, a woman who takes care of herself, she goes and does her hair every so often. She goes and does her brows, no matter what, every so often. She goes and does her manicure every so often. Like, why am I going and getting professionals to deal with my non-issue eyebrows. If you don't have huge issues with your brows, try letting them grow for a few months and see how you feel about them once you're used to them. Really, I don't think that I, in fact, really need to go pluck my eyebrows anymore, because I saw that nothing horrendous happened once I stopped going. You know, I didn't get a unibrow, and all of a sudden I'm not braiding my eyebrows or anything. So, you know, give them a chance. If you don't have problematic brows, then don't bother with those sorts of services. They're not necessary. Is there something age specific about 30? I'm not sure. Was it for you? Let me know. If you disagree with any of the points I've made, let me know down below. Be nice. And let me know what it is for you that you stopped doing or started doing maybe when you hit 30. That's it for today. Have fun. See you later. Bye-bye.